wish he was only a legend.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the editing tutorial series. What I've decided to do is I'm just going to keep editing one clip and just going to keep adding effects to it, and each effect will be a tutorial in its own. So if you guys remember, this clip I'm going to show you was the one where we did the masking transition. So let's do a little preview what we got so far.
He's done.
Alright, so far you can see we got the color correction on there, and this is just a little fake out clip. I saw this guy out of the corner of my eye and I did a little fake out and then jumped out and sniped him. So what I want to do in this video is we're going to cover camera shake, and where this theater mode clip is, I'm going to turn the color correction off for a second, speed things up a little bit, change this down to quarter. Whenever you go to the next frame you're looking at it, it'll render faster and you can get to work. Alright, so let's zoom in on this clip right here. Is our third person dolly camera. What I want to do is I'm going to hit B for begin, start that right there, and N for end, so our work area is right here. And to make the camera shake, what you're going to do is bring up your position, so hit P, and you want to start a keyframe at the beginning of where you want your camera shake to start, and then at the end. So make another little keyframe right there. Then all we're going to do is select both keyframes. Then you want to go to Window, and you're going to bring up your wiggler. By default it's probably not selected, so we brought that up there. So here's our little wiggler window. We're going to change the noise type to jagged, and then your frequency, this is how many times a second it's going to move, and your magnitude is how much. So let's knock that down to 3. We'll move that up to about 15, and then we're just going to hit apply. So you can see what it's done here is it's set keyframes 3 times a second all the way in between each of those keyframes that we selected. The last thing you want to do is you want to select your right click your last keyframe and go to keyframe assistant and easy ease out, and then right click your first one, keyframe assistant, easy ease in. Now let's go ahead and RAM preview this. Alright, so it's kind of subtle because the camera's moving around so much, but what's going on here is the whole position of the video. Since we set the wiggler, it's basically wiggling this little, it's wiggling the amount that we set it at. And as you scroll through here, you can see how this is what's going on. I'm just going to hit Control Z to undo that movement there. Now we got some black lines at the top and the right, so we're going to go to that file right there. We're going to hit S for scale. We're just going to scale that up until they're no longer on there. So let's talk a little bit more about the wiggler. We use the wiggler to alter the position of the video, which created our camera shake, but the wiggler can also be used on pretty much any effect that has a stopwatch. You can set keyframes and you can apply it to any variable that you want to. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to apply some glow to this little clip here, and I'll show you how the wiggler will work on that. So let's create a new adjustment layer, Control Alt Y. We'll just rename this glow. We'll go to Effects Presets, and type in glow, and then just drop that down on your adjustment layer. Now the variable that we're going to mess with is the glow threshold, and as you change it, you can see how that affects the video. So what we want is, we want the wiggler to basically automate wiggle that so it kind of looks like that. So the way that this works is, we're going to pull down the glow effects so we can set our keyframe on the glow threshold. Then we'll move to the end, we'll set another keyframe, and just like before with the camera shake, we're going to highlight those keyframes. We're going to go up to our wiggler. I'm not sure how smooth it'll, well, we'll just leave it on smooth, see what happens. Also, you want to make sure that your layer is selected, or your variable is selected, or else your little apply button won't show up right there. So we want the frequency, let's do it 2 times per second, and we're going to change the magnitude up to 30. So what should happen is, it's at 60% now, and when we apply this, every 2 seconds, that magnitude of 60 will change either up to 30, up to 90, or down to 30. Or maybe it's a little less, but it'll only change by amount of 30 there. So let's apply that. And let's RAM preview this and see what it looks like. Alright, so you can see in the background, this is kind of doing a little pulsing effect. You know, just experiment around with the frequency and the magnitude on whatever, you know, variable you throw the wiggler on. For example, the glow intensity. Let's take that up to 5. You can see that makes it a little intense. You could, you know, slap a wiggler on there. There's just all kinds of stuff you can do with that. So just experiment around. If you guys use any of my effects in a video, just make sure to come back and do a video response to this. And thanks a lot. Just leave a comment below.